I was trying to play Fortnite with my friend Deshaun. However, sadly for me, my mother kept nagging and telling me to get off the game. Sorry, D-Money, I said annoyed. But my mom refuses to shut the hell up, so I'ma have to hop off. That's cool, player. I'll catch you at school tomorrow. Deshaun then left the party, and I took off my headset extremely frustrated. There, I'm off. Are you happy, Mom? I'll be happy when you get vaccinated, she sarcastically responded. As I told you several times before, my body, my choice. I just want to make sure that shit's safe before I get it. Well, I've had mine for roughly a week, and I'm doing just fine, she smugly replied. Before I could point out her many flaws, a special news report started playing on the television. Breaking news, said local anchorman John Burgundy. Attention Somerville citizens. It seems the dead are coming back to life, and even worse, they're killing people, who later reanimate and repeat the process. What in Sam hell? My mother said as she turned up the volume. You heard that right, folks. It seems we are in the midst of a zombie invasion. It's not yet clear what is causing this all to happen, but some suspect a recent batch of the vaccine might be responsible. According to the CDC, all of the zombies they captured had received a vaccine within the last 7 days. Before Ron Burgundy could continue explaining what was going on, a group of zombies broke into the studio and started running amok until the broadcast abruptly ended. What did I tell you, Mom? This is exactly why I waited. I was waiting for her to respond, but when she failed to do so, I knew something wasn't right. I turned around to find my mother twisting and contorting her body. Her head wiggled back and forth as saliva flew about, and her fingernails and teeth became long and sharp. Her pasty white skin became a ghoulish green, and within no time, she was a zombie. God damn, I said to my zombified mother. She then let out a terrifying screech and started running right towards me. I easily sidestepped my mother, then used her momentum to push her out my bedroom window. Unfortunately for her, she landed right in front of my gardener Paco, who was currently mowing the lawn, and his lawnmower went right over her head, sending blood and brain matter all over the place. Oh geez, Paco said while turning off the lawnmower. I think I must have hit a rock or something. After taking a closer look, Paco realized it wasn't a rock and tried to assist my mother. Paco, don't, I screamed from my bedroom window. My mom's a zombie. Zombie? Paco said confused. Senor Jim, I think you've been playing too many video games. Paco, I'm not joking around. I then ran down the stairs and outside to Paco and showed him some videos of the zombies on YouTube. Ah shit, Senor Jim. This is no bueno. Let's get in my truck and head to high grounds. That's what they did on The Walking Dead. I ran back inside to grab some food and water, and then me and Paco made our way to the highest point in town, Makeout Mountain. Along the way, we saw the chaos going on throughout the city. Everything was in shambles, and zombies were eating people left and right. We then drove past the news station, where we could see local anchorman John Burgundy standing atop a news van, fighting off zombies with an umbrella. Back, you vile beast, John Burgundy said as he swung his umbrella. Paco, being the kind-hearted person he is, drove right over to help John Burgundy. He plowed through some of the zombies surrounding the van and told John to hop in the back of his truck. "Oh, God bless you, sir," John said as he leapt into the back of the truck. Paco then started to drive off. However, he accelerated too quickly, causing Ron Burgundy to lose his balance and fall out of the back of the truck. "Aw, shit," Paco said. We then looked in the rearview mirror and saw John Burgundy being devoured by a group of zombies. Paco then drove off, and we didn't speak until we made it to Makeout Mountain. There was a few zombies at the base of the hill, but going towards the top we saw less and less. We pulled up to a popular spot for camping, and to our surprise there were other survivors. There was a woman of Cambodian descent, a middle-aged crippled man, and an older blind gentleman who was black. Please tell me you have food," the crippled man said while rolling towards us. "Yeah, we should have enough for everyone," I said. We then unpacked our supplies, and I asked the group how long they'd been here. The crippled man was camping prior to everything that happened. As for the Cambodian woman and the blind man, they came here shortly after the news broke. "Well, it looks like we'll be here for a while, so we better ration the food to make it last long as possible." I then turned around to find the crippled man selfishly eating all the food. "Hey now," I said as I ran towards the man, "that's for everyone." I tried to grab the food from his hands, but he wouldn't let go. "Come on now," I said as we continued to wrestle for the food. He then yanked the food with such force that it came right out of my hands. And as it did, he knocked free the brakes on his wheelchair and started to rapidly roll backwards down the hill. He hit a rock and twisted around, and then desperately tried to stop the wheels as he approached the cliff. Sadly, it was too late, and he then went flying off the edge with most of our food. We then ran over to where he flew off, looked over the edge and found him at least 45 feet below, lying dead on the ground. "Serves him right," the blind man said. The Cambodian then said a prayer in her native language, and we made our way back to the campsite. All we had left was a box of Twinkies and a few cans of corn. It's not much, but hopefully somebody will come rescue us soon, Paco said, trying to keep the group calm. However, as the days went by, it became more and more clear nobody was coming to save us. We were just about to eat our last can of corn when Paco said he had an idea. "Hey guys," Paco said, "I just remembered I have about 50 feet of rope. Maybe one of us could climb down to where the crippled guy fell and retrieve some of the food." "I'll do it," the blind man said from the back of the group. I'm sure somebody would have said that was a bad idea considering he's blind, but knowing the risk involved, everyone agreed that was the best idea, and then we made a harness for the blind man. After it was finished, we made our way to the edge of the cliff and started to go over the plan. "Okay, blind man, we're going to slowly lower you down, and when you feel your feet hit the ground, collect as much food as you can, and we'll pull you back up." The blind man nodded his head in agreement, and then we started to lower him down. Luckily for us, he only weighed about 150, so it wasn't too difficult getting him safely to the ground. As soon as his feet hit the floor, he started desperately searching for some food. He actually gathered the items rather quickly, and then began tugging on the rope, signaling for us to pull him up. However, as we started, the crippled man on the floor reanimated and started to bite the blind man's ankle. The blind man then fell back in pain, and the crippled zombie started to devour his guts. "Pull me up! Pull me up!" the blind man yelled out in pain. "Are you kidding me?" the Cambodian woman interjected. "If we pull him up, he's going to get us all infected." "Well, what about the food?" Paco shot back. "It's too late. There's zombie blood all over it. If we eat that, we'll get sick for sure." She was right. If we ate that food, we'd surely get infected. And the blind man could be a risk when he turned into a zombie. "This isn't right," Paco said. He then went to the edge of the cliff and called down to the blind man. "Don't worry, blind man. I'm gonna pull you back up here." He then grabbed the rope and tried lifting him up, when suddenly the Cambodian woman grabbed a rock from the dirt and hit Paco right in the back of the head, knocking him unconscious and sending him falling to his death. "God damn," I said in disbelief. "Why would you go and do a thing like that?" Face it, he was willing to put us all at risk. It had to be done, the Cambodian woman said with absolutely zero shame. "That wasn't just my gardener. That was my friend," I said, extremely frustrated. "Well, I'm sorry, but your friend was an idiot." She then walked away and sat down by the campfire, and I was completely disgusted by her actions. I decided I'd take my chances somewhere else. I then got in Paco's truck, turned on the ignition, and got the hell away from that woman. I drove back to what remained of my hometown, and then to my house to see if I could retrieve any supplies. I opened the door to my home, and surprisingly it looked as if it hadn't been infiltrated by zombies. So I decided to hop on Xbox to see if Deshaun was still alive. I invited him to a party, and shortly after he accepted my invite. "I've been trying to reach you for days. Thank goodness you're okay," Deshaun said. "Yeah, I've seen some shit, but I'm doing all right. Have they found a cure yet?" "Sadly, no," Deshaun said. "But the CDC only shipped the vaccines to a few small towns, so they were able to easily contain the outbreak. Things should be back to normal in a couple of weeks." "Thank God," I said to Deshaun. "So you trying to play some Fortnite?" "Yeah, that sounds cool," Deshaun replied. Me and Deshaun played Fortnite until the news said it was safe to go outside, and things got back to normal pretty quickly. Luckily, my father was able to survive the zombie outbreak, so after everything got back to normal, I was able to move in with him. I still haven't got vaccinated, and after everything that happened, I don't think I ever will.